Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome, I'm Stefania. Today's video is gonna be a flip through of my reading journal. I'm finally gonna share the pages that I've created in July. As you can see, I have two notebooks, and that's because, as I've previously said, I'll keep on having my yearly pages in the first notebook, while in the second one I'm gonna have everything from July on. That's because the first one was full. So let's start from the yearly pages. I'm gonna go a little bit faster here because I've already uploaded a video where you can see me updating these pages exactly after July, so I don't think there's a lot to say about it. And then we're gonna move to the monthly pages. As always, the name page, and then cover page. Book of 2022. I've read 8 books, so that's the number of books that are colored. Bingo, I've read a book by one of my favorite authors. Sarah J. Maas turned out to be one of my favorite authors, so I have to check this one. Reading tracker. As you can see, I managed to read each single day, and I've read a lot of pages, and in a lot of days I read more than 100 pages. There have been several days in which I've read more than 200 pages, and even I think 2 or 3 days in which I've read more than 300 pages, and that's completely awesome, but it's definitely not my normal, so yeah. Goodreads challenge, I finished updating it, and then I noticed I don't have any more space. So I'll have to figure out how to do it for the next few months, but I'm definitely gonna do something because, as I've said in another video, I don't like the idea of having these pages in another notebook or divided, for example, here one and the rest of the spread in another page. Next year I'm gonna leave more space. These are the 8 books that I read, and as you can see, there have been 3 5 stars. That's amazing. Books read in 2022. Okay, I'm gonna move a little bit so you can see it. I've read all the Throne of Glass series and I loved it. I've decided to use the new covers because I like them. And here are their last few. As you can see, it was a good month. I mean, it was really a good month for me. Loved all the books. Moving on to a book for each month, Kingdom of Ash turned out to be my favorite for the month. I loved it. And I was at the same time so sad because it was the ending of everything. Series tracker, I started and finished the whole series, so I colored all the little circles. Books run out of space here as well, and I think I've already said this 100 times. Next year I'll have to leave more space for my yearly pages. As you can see, I've read all ebooks, so actually the last time that I've read a physical book was back at the end of, actually in the middle and end of May, but yep. After that, it was all ebooks. You should read it, it's kind of pointless because I haven't updated it again. Probably I won't create another spread like this next year because I've realized I'm not using it at all. And then it's time for reading stats. In July I've read 8 books for a total of 4,284 pages. 8 books were ebooks and 0 were physical books. And then, as always, the following pages are still empty, so that's it for now. And now we can move to my monthly pages. Okay, so cover page, As always, a Plan With Me video is online, so in case you missed it, you can check it out and see what I've done to come out with my spreads, but as always it's just scrapbooking, so it's not like there is something more to see than me putting all the pieces together. My monthly view, and as you can see it's all red and blue because it was all about ebooks. Reading tracker, I am so happy about this one because it's almost, I mean, look at it, it's almost full. Like, of course there have been a few days in which I haven't read it that much, but this just makes me so happy. And while I'm here, I just wanted to say that for sure I'm gonna keep this tracker in this way also next year because I'm really liking it. While for the monthly view, I'm gonna probably change it a little bit because yes, it's lovely, but at the same time it's not that amazing to look at, especially in these months, like for example August, in which I haven't read that much, and so there is a lot of white, actually, too much empty spaces. And so I was thinking of maybe changing it a little bit, and I saw different things online, and probably with the new Hero I'm gonna change that as well. I won't do it for the next few months because I like the idea of keeping it in the same way since only a few months are left for the year. But yeah, it's gonna change with next year. Books of July. As you can see, I've read 8 books, and I really like this little thing here, these stamps that I always use, but I don't know, I think that I'm actually thinking about doing something different next year, more than here probably in the book spreads, but anyway. July review, I've read 8 books. 8 of them were ebooks and 0 were physical books. I gave a total of 35 stars. Bingo, I've read a book by one of my favorite authors. I've read 4,284 pages. I've started and finished it. One was series and was Throne of Glass. I've read for 31 days. And my favorite book was Kingdom of Ash. I really loved this one. Now, before starting with the book spreads, I want to remember one thing. First, I won't talk too much about the books because I don't want to give any spoilers. And second, as always, the photos of the books aren't made by me, so credit to the right owners. If I still have all them saved up, I'm gonna credit the owners in the description box. In case I don't, however, they're not made by me, so credit to the right owners. I started with I would call it a prequel, let's say it, and then I've read all the other books, so this month was all about Throne of Glass. I didn't want to read it, I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of scared because there are so many books, and let's face it, the more you go on, the longer the books are. Like, the first one are a certain amount of pages, but I've noticed that now she enjoys writing long books, and that kind of scared me because at the beginning of the year I was like, okay, this is a series that can be interesting and all, but it's a lot of books. I would end up reading only that for how long? Then after the first few months, I've decided to give it a try, first of all because I love the Avatar and I wanted to see how this one was, and I am so happy that I've done it. Also, in June I've read 9 books and I told myself, you know what, you can give it a try, maybe you're gonna spend one whole month reading that, but I'm so happy I've done it. Also, the fan arts are made by me, I'm not good at that. I love this one. I would say that it's important to read it to understand everything, especially the latest books, because you'll see a few characters coming back from here. Anyway, I really loved it. And then there was, I would call the actually first book, because the previous one are several novellas put in all together. I liked it. However, I didn't give 5 stars. If I'm not wrong, I gave it 4 stars and a half. No, 4 stars only. Okay, I don't remember. Let me check. Give 4 stars. And the reason is that there wasn't a lot of fantasy into it. Don't get me wrong, there is, but not as much as I was expecting to. However, when I went on in the series, I have understand why, because the following books will have more and more each single time. So it's I would call a nice beginning, just like to make you understand where you're gonna go with baby steps. That's it. And it was also a fast one to read, because it took me like, if I'm not wrong, I started a day and I finished it the next day. I really loved it. Really, really, really. Then it was time for Crown of Midnight. After this book, I've told myself, don't get too close with any characters, because you can predict what's gonna happen. You just can't do it. While in ACOTAR, I would say there is more peace in a way or in another. Here, there are way too many goodbyes, according to me. I won't say anything more. I definitely enjoyed it, and there's so much happening in this one. I really loved it. However, there were some parts that were kind of painful, because I was thinking, poor creature. She had to face a lot. This one, oh gosh. Here things started to go on a higher level, I would say. First of all, there are new characters appear, and I loved it. Second, there's definitely more of the so-called fantasy world, so I really enjoyed it. Also, another thing, I don't wanna use their names, but not because I don't know them, but because I bet that if I'm gonna call them by names, all the characters, I'm gonna get them all wrong. This is probably the hardest thing about reading Sarah's books. I never get the names. If I do, or I think I do, then I found out they're completely wrong, so I'll try to avoid saying them, if I can. Also because I don't want to call certain people with a name or two, you know. Anyway, I loved it, and I really enjoyed the fact that there are multiple point of views, I would say. Like, in a moment we're following one character and another one, and that's making everything definitely interesting. I loved this one, got 4.5 stars. This wasn't my 5 stars yet. Queen of Shadows, I loved this one too. I think I'm gonna say almost everywhere, but I definitely loved it. There were so many things I loved into it, and characters that we found out aren't who we expected them to be. Everything is kind of falling in the right place, so you're starting to understand what's gonna happen, what's going on actually, but still you're gonna have several question marks. And I definitely loved it. I'm trying to avoid to give any spoilers, so I'm sorry if I do. Anyway, I definitely recommend all these books. They're worth your time. Then there was Empire of Storms. I think that, oh gosh, this killed me. This was one of my 5 stars, and okay, probably I should have said before, don't read the first line if you don't want any spoilers, because that's basically the end of the book, and that's the point. How the book ends, oh my gosh, people, you can't imagine how crazy I went there. I was like, okay, I have to start the next one. I really have to, I need to know more, I want to see what's gonna happen. I was just too much into it, you know, way too much. And I loved it. I would say it in this way, that all the previous books set the perfect journey. Like, it was really well made. I really loved it. I know that a lot of people will be disappointed with it because everyone has their own opinion on books, but I love them all. However, moving on to the next one, here I was disappointed. Like, I finished this one. If you've read it, you know what it means to reach the end of this. You know what it means. You know where you are. And then you start this. Like, don't get me wrong. This book basically has been put there because of following a chronological order, I would say. But like, I was so disappointed because while in the previous books we kind of forgot about two characters because they moved. Let's say they moved away. It's not like that, but kind of. Here we go back to them. So we're following their adventures, their stories. It's just that you can't do it. Okay, I'm sorry. You just can't. Not after you finish the previous one like that. You can't just stop there and leave me there for a whole freaking book. Because I've started reading it and I was like, okay, this is a bad thing. But then I was like, also in the previous books, you were following a character, then going to another, then coming back. And so I started it and then I was like, what? Because actually, in this book, all the other characters disappear. Like, they're only mentioned, but like, they disappear. I was so mad about it. Like, we're gonna find back a character from the first book, like one of the novellas. And it's wonderful to see all these pieces are falling in together perfectly, but I was disappointed. I mean, I understand that was important as a book because they found out certain things that are extremely important for the final book. But it could have been done differently, according to me. I would have, for example, put a little bit more into it also about the other characters. Anyway, once I was done with it, I finally started the last one. Favorite book. I had a rush of emotions. Like, really, people, I loved it. It was a perfect way to end up all the series. It was amazing. It was well made. I've seen, if I don't remember wrong, it was for this one. A lot of people were a little bit disappointed because there were too many characters, too many points of view to follow. It was a little bit too complicated. I don't know. However, for me, it was perfect. I loved it. There are two moments that definitely I saw them as connected together and are actually, I also put fan hearts about them. Now I'm gonna try to say something. What happened to, I don't know if they're called also in the English version, the 13, so the witches. I cried like a baby there. I couldn't stop. I just couldn't. It really moved me a lot. So it was worth the time to read it because it's pretty long and a lot of things happen here. A lot. So get ready to follow everything because you'll have to go from left to right, up and down, a word to another, and you'll have to keep in mind everything. What I also love about it is like a real ending, also because so many characters from the very first one came back. So this itself could look like it's pointless to read when you're reading the first few books, but by the ending, you would really regret not reading it because there is so much that happens here that's gonna be important for this. I loved it. And the ending, when you see all these strong women coming all together and walking one next to each other, I mean, powerful. I loved it. I just loved this one so much. So crazy much. So moving on, trying to be extremely fast about it. This has been my July. It was an amazing month for my reading, so I'm really excited about it. I was wondering if you've read any of these books, if you're in the middle of them, or if you're planning to read. If you're planning to read them, listen to me, just do it. Just take them and read them, because it's worth your time. I love this one so much and I'm so happy that I've done it. So this is everything for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that you've stayed with me through the whole time. As always, thank you so much for your support. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumb up. Remember to subscribe for more videos. Also, a little preview about what's coming next. I've actually recorded the whole process, not the whole, let's say almost the whole process of creating all these spreads. I just didn't put into it the writing process, so you're gonna see me creating them all, and I hope you're gonna enjoy them, so stay tuned for 8 more videos, because I decided to divide them since they're almost in real time, not fully but almost, and there are not talking videos, so it's just gonna be something a little bit different from usually, but I really wanted to do for them all because I didn't feel right doing it for a book and not the others. So I've ended up doing it for all the 8 of them, and I will want to know if you're gonna enjoy them when they're gonna come out, because it's something new and I need to know if you like that kind of videos or not. Anyway, thank you so much. See you next time. Bye!